Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and in this video, we're going to be reviewing the new Rome Katana. I rode this binding at Copper Mountain on a day that was overcast, firm snow, soft snow, perfect corduroy, little bit of wind, just kind of a mix of gray bird day conditions. And I rode it on my Ride Shadowband snowboard with my K2 Thraxis boots. All right, so let's talk about the adjustability with these puppies. What you get is one set screw under the toe that you have to release and two at the heel to get it to slide back and forth. To center it, the foot pad can also slide back and forth. You also do have the pivot mount on there, so you can move it up or down based on where the instep of your foot is. The straps have flip tabs. You flip it up, slide it down, lock them in, they're good to go. The toe is also on a push pin system, so you can push it down, pull it back up and lock it in to help center that strap over the toe of your boot. With the high back, you have the ability to cant it, so you can give it 6 degrees of canting as well as rotation if you want it parallel with your heel edge. And then finally, you have the forward lean tab. You flip it up, slide it down, slide it up, lock it back into place, and you are good to go. The big story with the Katana this year is the new Oxtec heel strap. If you look at it, it's completely different. This is designed so that it will not tear as easily. It's still a very minimal strap, so all padding is going to come from your boot and it's going to contour over that instep. You do have a little bit of an exoskeleton in the middle just to give it a little bit more rigidity. Now with the toe strap, it's still that standard Oxtec toe strap. It's going to fit most boot shapes perfectly fine. It's going to have a little bit of stretch to it and contour and lock in. Overall, the straps are very dialed on this binding. I love the ratchets on this binding. You get a lot of torque when you go to open it. You can just feel that pull tab works. The one finger quick release does everything that you absolutely need it to do. They lock in, they stay locked in. Never had any premature release. There's no issues with them. They are absolutely dialed. With the high back, there's a little bit of give on the outside of it. So when you drive into it, you can feel that kind of go back. Lets you just tweak with it. When you go straight back on a heel side turn, you get enough power out of it that you're going to be able to turn. The forward lean adjustment is very easy to use. You flip it up, slide it down. You do have the ability to cant the high back. I don't know anyone that cants their high backs, but you can move it 6 degrees if you want to, as well as rotate it. Canting is different than rotation. Rotation just means you're lining it up with the heel side edge. Canting actually means the angle of how it sits on the chassis. I literally do not know anyone that uses this. If you do, leave me a comment down below because I'm really curious about it. But it is an added perk of this. Overall, it is not a super stiff high back. It is your middle of the road flexing high back. So the flex of this binding is your true middle of the road all mountain freestyle. You get a little bit more lateral play on the outside of it just because it doesn't have that full wrap going on. So you're gonna be able to just sort of tweak out over the ratchets of this binding. It helps with your presses and when you're playing around, but if you push to the inside, you're gonna get a little bit more power. Toe to heel, the strap isn't the stiffest out there on the heel. It does have a lot of give in the top and the bottom of it. The center with that spine gives a little bit more rigidity. Overall, like I said, it's a true middle of the road, all mountain freestyle flexing binding. The ride of this binding is smooth and consistent. It's damp where you absolutely need it to, yet it's still lively when you want it to be. It's not so dead underfoot that it's just killing everything off, just making your ride lifeless. But it does a good job of dissipating all that kinetic energy coming up underfoot so that you don't get foot fatigue. But when you absolutely do want to feel the bigger undulations in the snow, it lets you feel them. So who's this binding for? The all mountain freestyle guy. I like the Katana. It's basically a downgraded Black Label, which is what I ride. Personally, I probably should just ride Katanas. No one should ride the Black Label. It's just too much binding expense for most mortal men. Anyways, with that said, the new heel strap makes sense to me. It's a little bit more durable in my opinion. It's probably gonna last a little bit longer. It's gonna contour better. This binding has a ton of adjustability to it. It's damp where you need it to be, yet lively. It gives you power and performance when you want it, but it's not so demanding that you're just manhandling it all the time. Binding recommendations: the Union Strata, the Bent Metal Transfer, the K2 Edition. This has been my review of the Rome Katana. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own a pair? Are you gonna buy a pair? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this binding. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.